I'm waiting for Good evening, everybody. Adequate notice of this meeting, as required by the Open Public Meetings Act, was provided through the posting, mailing, and filing of the annual notice of regularly scheduled meetings of the Town Council on December 11th, 2019. The notice was, on that date, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, provided to the Westfield Leader and the Star Ledger, and filed with the clerk of the town of Westfield. Mrs. Rowley, may I have a roll call?
Mayor Brindle?
Here.
Councilmembers Habegood?
Here.
Parmalee?
Here.
LaGrippo?
Here.
Katz?
Here.
Mackey?
Here.
Contract?
Here.
Dardia?
Here.
Boyce?
Here.
Please rise for the invocation, which will be given by Councilman LaGrippo, and remain standing for the flag.
We meet to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, and to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibility to the past and the future, and the rights and needs of both individuals and community. As trusted servants, we ask blessings on our deliberations and on our efforts here today. May we act wisely and well. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Should we do these first? Yes. You know what? Why don't we get right to the, I have some, should we do the awards first, and then we're going to get right to our Gingerbread House Awards, and then we'll get up and ask Jim and so forth. So, as you know, we had our second annual Gingerbread House contest, and I hope everybody got a chance to see or vote the amazing entrants that were scattered through windows downtown. And we are going to present the awards tonight. And this was an event that was spearheaded by the DWC and led by our extraordinary Councilwoman Dawn Mackey. So with that, Dawn, you coming up here with me? You will assist. All right. I wish we had a slideshow. We could show them all up. But all right, so it was our second annual gingerbread contest. I do want to give a special thanks to the Savory Spice Shop. They hosted the drop-offs, as well as Brunner Opticians, Ono Bowls, and NNC Jewelers for showcasing the entries. So drum roll. It's not such a secret anymore. The grand prize winner, the iconic Westfield shopping by our own Anastasia Harrison. Congratulations. Beautiful. It was really quite amazing. Okay, second, our iconic Westfield winner was Arcanum Hall, submitted by Tara and Robert Donnelly and Amy Bear Shields. Can we hear? How long did it take you? How long did you help do it? Did you help make it? How long did it take you guys? Oh, a couple weeks, I bet. Here we go. Absolutely amazing. Well, it was beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great job.
And not present tonight was the family effort winner. It was Whoville, submitted by Mackenzie Wilson, Emily Rigo, Hannah Everett, and Natalie Duhame. And we had a kids effort winner, which was quite amazing. It was the Lincoln School Playground, submitted by Lincoln School Kindergarten class, Miss Korea's afternoon class.
Oh, that's great. Where are the kids? That's awesome.
It's amazing. At Ono Bowls. Thank you for, did you guys do that in class? Yes. How long did it take you?
It took us 4 days.
Oh, did they enjoy it?
They loved it. It was a pre-K class.
Oh, it's so cute.
Wow.
So that's a good project every year. Awesome. Now you can enter, right? Right here.
That's cool.
Thank you so much.
very short update today, Mayor. Beginning of the year, not a lot of capital work going on, but 2 quick reminders or informational points. Recycling Center, Conservation Center. Just a reminder to the public that it is open every Saturday in January for not just for all recycling opportunities. And of course, Christmas tree drop off as well. So again, every Saturday in January. And we're working on this year. We bifurcated the publications, so we sent out the recycling brochure later in the year, as we always have. We're actually working on a new look brochure for the Conservation Center, which will be hopefully to finalize next month and a half and get that out early, or get that out before the season begins. With all the dates for the center opens up in April for the balance of the year. But just again, every Saturday in January, open up for Christmas trees and regular recycling, including the food waste, which has become a popular program. Just an update on the kiosk renovations, the north side or south side train station coffee hut kiosk. So exterior structure renovations are complete or nearly complete. We have a few minor pieces left to do on the exterior construction, but right now it's behind a big fence. So I know Chris and I have been back there. Looks very good. The contractor's done a nice job, really taking a lot of care to restore it and renovate it. The interior work continues. We've been coordinating with New Jersey Transit, PSC&G, and American Water. We were hoping to have a meeting this week that didn't happen. Last week didn't happen. We'll be out there probably next week with both utility companies, with the contractor, to make arrangements to install electricity and water to this kiosk. There's never been water to it before, and the electricity needed a major upgrade. So that's in process. And we also been working with the design committee of the DWC, Peg Lockwood. They're working on color choices for us, so we can actually paint the whole kiosk with appropriate new look colors that are more matching with the train station motif over there. That'll be done when the weather warms up. So we're hoping that by springtime this will be finished, and we'll be out to request for proposals for an operator for a concessionaire there. So, but it's moving along, and I'm excited for everyone to see it. I know Chris is as well. The contractor's done a really nice job, meticulous in the details of restoring this to historic significance and something that's operational, which really was not before. So, 2 updates.
Great, thanks.
Sure.
Jim, can I just ask a question regarding the kiosk? Are we setting the hours and then the operator has to kind of follow suit, or do we just say,
No, those kind of details we worked out in the request for proposal. So we have, it's our property. We have a right to limit the hours, expand the hours, decide what can be sold, what can be provided there. We have all those right, what the concessionaire has to provide at all. So for example, this is very similar. All the years I worked at Memorial Pool, we're providing a shell. Do we provide equipment in the shell? Do we have the contractor do that? It's all sorts of things. We'll decide that when we do the RFP process. But our goal is to get someone in there this year, obviously this spring, to start operating it as a whatever the respondents respond with. So, but we have a limit. We have a right to do anything we want. Limited hours or expand the hours. Questions?
People are very excited for that.
Yeah,
so.
no, it's gonna be nice.
Jim, the Saturday hours for the conservation, what are the hours?
9 to 2:30.
9 to 2:30.
Yep. 9 to 2:30. Is that right, Chris? Yeah, 9 to 2:30. Yeah. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I just have a few updates for everybody. This is our first regular meeting of 2020. As I discussed in the State of the Town address at last week's organization meeting, this is going to be a pivotal one for Westfield. It's a year where we're going to make some defining decisions about the course we'd like to collectively chart for our future. And I think we're all very excited to get to work and about what's ahead. I did want to mention something that unfortunately I've mentioned too many times before related to car thefts. As we've communicated numerous times over the last year, car thefts have been on the rise in many towns in this area, including Westfield. Between public remarks made by both Chief Petalore and myself, letters to the editor and local press outlets, ward-specific NICSA alerts, and nightly social media reminders, we have spread information far and wide about the need for residents to lock their cars and remove their keys from their vehicles. Yet, we continue to see that cars are being left unlocked, making Westfield a target for this criminality. And last week, to reach even more residents, we began distributing flyers to the most heavily affected areas of town. We also partnered with the Board of Ed. We're very grateful to them. They had each school principal sent out this flyer to their email list. I hope everyone is aware of this issue. And listen, I'm a taxpayer too. I would much prefer to see our police actually doing police work to catch the criminals as opposed to putting flyers in on people's doorsteps. And I think what's very frustrating for me, quite frankly, is we have created so many communication avenues, like I said, NICS alerts, email, so there's no reason why people can't take advantage of these things to know what's going on. So it brings me to a comment. When I was talking to Chief Badalora, we talked about making community policing a priority. And I wanted to clarify for everybody what that means, because some people have made comments that maybe think it's just a one-sided proposition. But it is not one-way outreach to the residents by the police department. It is a philosophy that promotes strategies using public partnerships to proactively address public safety issues. When the chief and his department have pizza with the police events, serve up coffee at Starbucks, and put more officers on bikes at public events, it's of course for them to provide a neutral, approachable environment to meet with residents. But more importantly, it's also to establish long-term, two-way channels of communication so that the residents and police can work together to prioritize public safety. It's not a job that they can do alone. They have a role to play, but so do all of us. Our extraordinary police department has been working exhaustively on this car theft issue in particular, both in plain sight and through less visible tactics to thwart additional car thefts. We will now ask all of you once again to ensure every day and every night that your cars are locked and the keys are removed. Spread the word to your neighbors and do your part by availing yourselves of the multiple communication channels we're providing. As I mentioned, town updates, NICS alerts, following us on social media, whatever is your thing. And I'll steal the chief's line saying this is a crime of opportunity. We need to work together to make sure that Westfield this is a crime that we no longer provide the opportunity for this crime to exist. So it's a bit frustrating, as you can imagine. They are out there all the time, mostly in plain sight. We cannot stop crime, but we can displace it and make it somebody else's problem. Another line I'll steal from, and that's what we need to do. Moving on, something more positive regarding the Rialto. Also, as I mentioned last week, we have been driving very productive discussions concerning the future of the Rialto. When it closed in August, I had so many residents reach out to me asking about how they could help. I just put them all in an email file, and when the opportunity presented itself to move forward, I reached out, and it's quite amazing the impressive group of residents we've assembled to be kind of our working advisory team about a future for the Rialto. So we've created this team, and they have expertise in commercial real estate, financing, theater management, grant writing, economic development, and the film industry, just to name a few. So we're in active discussions with the owner of the Rialto, Jesse Sage, about how it can be reimagined for the future. And most immediately, we're in the process of applying for grants to fund the cost of a consultant with a specific experience in the performing arts and theater renovation space, so that they can conduct a full assessment and feasibility study of how to proceed. We've collected a lot of very valuable input. We're ready to move on to this next step in the near term. We're actually issuing an RFP this week for the consultant, and I'll have more to share about it next week and in the coming weeks about what's going on. But there is progress coming on. I'm actually meeting tomorrow with the first executive director of the South Orange Performing Arts Center. We're talking to Tom Kane about state art funding. So there's a lot of multiple conversations coming on. We're very committed to seeing what we can do to make this something that is going to be quite amazing for Westfield. And more positive news regarding the Parks and Recreation Strategic Plan. We have all been anxiously awaiting the release of the plan, which really is a truly comprehensive and extremely detailed document to help us define the roadmap for Westfield's parks, open spaces, and recreational opportunities. The Rec Commission is going to be reviewing the proposed plan at their meeting tomorrow night and provide their comments. It will then be referred back to the council in February and then finally sent over to the planning board for incorporation into the master plan reexamination. Having reviewed the plan in detail, it was a weekend reading I had about a week or so ago. I said I couldn't put it down. I was so excited about the possibilities. I think the community will be too. And it really convinced me more than ever that taking a holistic planning approach was the right one, and one that will result in smart, long-term investments made with a broader view beyond just fields. And I think when everybody sees it, they will feel like I did. It's really an amazing roadmap. I think the most frustrating part about it is going to be that we can't do everything at once. And there are some pretty amazing things that have been proposed. So that will be public on Thursday after the Wednesday after the rec meeting tomorrow night. On a note about the Downtown Westfield Corporation, many of you know our DWC Interim Executive Director, Kathleen Miller-Prunty. She had been running for Cranford Town Council, and I was want to congratulate her not only on her win, but she was also elected to be the Deputy Mayor in Cranford. We've been incredibly lucky to have someone with Kathleen's experience in 20 years of economic development in Cranford working with us through this transition period. She's coming up on the end of her interim appointment in late February, and we recently posted the job description for a new permanent executive director. There's a search team in place, and they're going to start interviewing candidates in the next week or so. But I also want people to know we recently received the findings of the investigation into an alleged Twitter incident from October. Never thought I'd be saying that, a Twitter incident, in which accusations were made of a partisan post by the DWC account. I think initially people thought that the Twitter account of the DWC was hacked, and it turns out it indeed was not. After a thorough review by forensics investigators, they found no evidence of unauthorized access to the DWC Twitter account, nor could they find evidence supporting the very existence of the alleged tweet. They concluded that the tweet was never posted and was in fact fabricated and subsequently circulated on Facebook. Someone created a Photoshop of a tweet and put it on social media and pretended that it had been sent. Well, I'm grateful to have this matter thoroughly reviewed and put behind us. I'm of course disheartened to know the true cause of this issue was the deliberate circulation of disinformation intended to discredit not only Kathleen Miller-Prunty, who, as we said, was a council candidate in Cranford at the time, but the DWC as a whole, which is comprised of dedicated professionals whose contributions remain valuable to our town. And while this was a very politically motivated tweet, you know, it really wasn't, I think it was an example of people putting their own self-interest above the greater good of the public and what we're trying to accomplish. It compromised, certainly the DWC, the employees there were incredibly distraught. Kathleen, as you can imagine, was very distraught. And I was pretty disgusted, certainly when I found out the conclusion of this investigation, as we all should be. And I certainly hope with a presidential election coming up this year that we can show that Westfield is better than this. And we can certainly, as I said in my remarks last year, disagree civilly and disrespectfully, and know that there is no place for this actions in our town. We are so much better than this. Which actually dovetails into a conversation, a comment about what's coming up and somewhat related about being better, and that's Martin Luther King Day. There's a big weekend coming up next week as we join the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Association on Monday for the annual commemoration events. The day begins with a pancake breakfast at the Westfield Community Center, followed by a service project at 10 a.m. at the Presbyterian Church, where they're assembling toiletry kits to benefit the Bridges Outreach Organization assisting homeless populations in the city, Newark, Irvington, and Summit. Anybody can donate travel-sized toiletry items such as shampoo, dental floss, toothbrush, toothpaste, etc. We have a collector bin right outside the tax office and also at the Presbyterian Church through Friday, or you can actually bring them to the event on Monday. And following the service project, the annual march will commence at 12:15 at the MLK Monument on to the Presbyterian Church where the service will be held. And relatedly, as we honor MLK's legacy of peace and tolerance, it's also a great time to announce the upcoming formation of the town's Human Relations Advisory Committee, the ordinance for which will be introduced in February. I bring it up tonight to reiterate the message again I delivered at last week's meeting about living in a community that fosters an environment of inclusivity, mutual understanding, and respect. The HRAC is intended to serve in an advisory capacity to promote these values and help ensure that all individuals can participate fully in all aspects of community life. It will be comprised of 7 resident members and 2 alternates who will work with the mayor and the town council to improve access to programs, recommend policies, promote inclusivity, and provide education and awareness within Westfield. It's clear to me from the unacceptable increase we are seeing in bias incidents in and around our town that we need to do more than offer our statements of condemnation, that without additional action, nothing else will make enough of a tangible impact. So we will be soliciting applications for volunteers to serve on the HRAC in the next few days and plan on introducing the members that we choose after the second reading of the ordinance next month. So I do want to thank residents Pam Brugge and Alexis Jamal for suggesting this committee and then really helping to move this vision forward. And lastly, I just want to announce if you have a family member or know a family member or have a friend with special needs, please encourage them to register for the free adaptive skating session on Monday, January 20th at 2 p.m. at the Westfield rink. Thanks to the Westfield Hockey Club for sponsoring, and a special shout out to the Access and Inclusivity Council for facilitating. And one more comment before I go, and it's really exciting. Governor Murphy signed into law today the requirement of New Jersey Transit to do a feasibility study for the one-seat ride for the Raritan Valley Line, and with specific metrics on what needs to be reported by July. Now, no idea what the results are going to say, but it is one step closer, and the fact that we have everybody talking about it, and the governor has actually taken actions supported unanimously by the legislature, is a really, really good step in the right direction. And I find it hard to believe that they're going to come back after all that saying, nope, nothing we can do. So we are going to be fearless. The RVL Mayor's Alliance is meeting next week to talk about next steps, but we're keeping the pressure on, and really the public's involvement has been critical. So thanks to that. So with that, let's get on to tonight's agenda. So may I have a motion to approve the minutes from the Town Council conference session and regular meetings of December 10th, 2019, and the reorganization meeting of January 7th, 2020?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Contract, second. Second by Councilman Mackey. Any discussion?
Tara, I just have to recuse myself from the January 7th. I wasn't here.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Do we have any petitions or communications?
No, Mayor, we don't.
Now it's time for open discussion by citizens. Anyone may come up to the microphone and speak to the council on any subject on which we have jurisdiction. Please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 10 minutes. Hearing none, I close this portion of the meeting and move to bills and claims.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move bills and claims in the amount of $1,313,726.91.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Parmalee. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Next on the agenda is reports from standing committees, beginning with the Finance Policy Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I have 12 resolutions that I'd like to move as a package. A resolution authorizing the CFO to refund Recreation Department fees, a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant for dog licenses for December 2019, a resolution authorizing the CFO to refund dumpster security payment, a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant for fourth quarter construction official state permit fees for 2019, a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a check for the balance of the escrow monies, a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant to the Treasurer, State of New Jersey, for marriage/civil union license fees, a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant for overpaid taxes in 2019, a resolution to amend the Town of Westfield's participation and funding for fiscal year 2021 Municipal Alliance Program, a resolution authorizing submission of a grant application to the Grata Fund for funding of age-friendly community initiatives, a resolution authorizing town officials to execute a contract for animal control services, a resolution to appoint our CFO, Scott Olson, and a resolution to appoint the redevelopment attorney.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Contract. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried.
Mayor, I just want to thank you for the appointment of Scott Olson. He's here tonight, so he was worried, I guess. But I just want to say, Scott's been with us now for about 4.5 years. Came in to replace Lee Sy, who was here 28 years, and we've been very fortunate to have great consistency in this position. And Scott's just done a really great job the last 4.5 years. We've gone a lot more things than we thought we could do, and more to come. So, but thank you again for the appointment.
Thanks, Scott.
Anything from any of the other committees?
I'll just add, Mayor, that echo Jim's comments about the opportunity to work with Scott. And it's a good segue into the fact that we're about to hit budget season. So I encourage everyone to come out for the open public meeting that we'll have for reflecting back on how we did against the 2019 budget, and also taking comments and feedback from the community about what they'd like to see in the budget for 2020. And that meeting will be Thursday, January 30th at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. So I welcome everyone to come.
Excellent. So reports from department heads are accepted. May I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman Grippo, second.
Second, me.
Second by Councilman Hapgood. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. The meeting is adjourned.
All right.
Yeah, they're all like this. Hey, Mark, they're all like this.